I'm going to say 2 words to you, and I want you to choose instinctively, immediately, which sounds good and which sounds bad. The first word is natural. The second is artificial. Of course, you thought that natural sounds good and artificial sounds bad. You were brought up to think that, and so was I. But there's somewhere where this distinction isn't nearly as clear-cut. It's a place where the artificial seems perfectly natural. And in that sense, it's somewhere that got to the future before us.
I've got machines. You just plug me
The Orient has always exercised a hold on our Western imaginations. We Westerners have long been attracted to the amazing wonders of the East. That seems to me to be still the case. The modern East is still filled with wonders, but these days they're made out of plastics and polymers rather than silk or lapis lazuli or jade. The Silk Route's replacement, the 12-hour non-stop flight from Heathrow to Tokyo, picks you up in one era of human civilization and drops you off in the next. What we have here is a place that's spectacularly ready for the way things are going to be. They're at ease with the synthetic, unafraid of the artificial. Technology is a friend, not a fiend. Now, why is that? The future began early in these parts. While we were inventing Morris dancing, the Japanese were coming up with the first robots. This is the Takayama Festival of Early Robotics, an annual gathering of gnarled and ancient robot lovers who come here every year to prepare for progressiveness by remembering how things used to be. Japan, which has a civilization much older than ours, that's developed on very different lines, invented the low-tech robot about 500 years ago.
Carpenters of Takayama was very famous. Still they are famous for building the houses and temples. The carpenters competed their technology by producing very, very interesting robots without using any electricity, of course. And, it's a competition of a very intricate technology, really invented by the skilled carpenters.
Come festival time, the ancient robots take to the streets with an excellent ambition to cheer up their makers and bring them delight. These ones paraded annually through the streets of Takayama are mostly from the 1700s. In Japanese cultural terms, they're robotic newcomers. But already, as you can see, they're a playful bunch because in the 18th century, early Japanese robotics was a science having fun. And guess what? It still is.
Plug me in, 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 plug me in. Oh, hey!
Wait for a moment. Okay, start. He woke up.
Like many wide-eyed school kids, Dr. Doi enjoyed playing with robots as a youngster. He read comics, he thrilled at the adventures of Astro Boy, and when he grew up and got to run a large chunk of Sony, he remembered this early enthusiasm for robots and decided to share it with us.
What we require from deepest in our soul are love, or healing, or peace, relax, such a kind of things. So what I am doing is to answer the very, very deep desire of our soul.
Kikko. Brilliant. I thought I was playing with a little mechanical doggy. But Dr. Doi tells me that Aibo 2 is actually a baby lion. What looks to me like doggy behavior is just a miniature robot lion's way of coming down to our level in order to entertain us.
Can you give us some idea of what kinds of robots you foresee in the future? Where are they going to play a role in our life?
First of all, the very simple device of the dog-type robot, original Aibo. We have been receiving a lot of letters from the owners, and some of them are older people who lost their partner and now living with this robot. Now I have the feeling that this simple device can heal people. Which sounds very strange because this is not an animal, this is not living in real meaning. But this can heal people, which is rather a surprise for us.
When you get old, lonely, unmortgaged, you'll find a shortage of young people prepared to look after you and talk to you. It's an international problem. In Britain, we slip our old people a couple of fivers and let them rot to their lonely deaths behind closed council doors. In Japan, where the diet is so outrageously low in fats and carcinogens that you live, on average, into your late 80s, they've developed special friendly old people robots to be there for you and keep you company. And when you come to the temple and prepare spiritually to meet your maker, there's always someone there to greet you, to say welcome. In Japan, you can't get the staff these days any more than you can in Britain. But who needs staff when you've got one of these? The modern Japanese robot can do much more than hoover your home. It can entertain you, comfort you, and even bring you spiritual sustenance. This is the famous robot monk of Hotoku. Its builder, Mr. Matsuka, has ensured that no lonely pilgrim can ever enter Hotoku Temple without a rousing Buddhist welcome.
My main reason for creating this robot was to do something in memory of my mother. My mother only came here twice, but she believed in Buddhism very deeply, and that's why I created this monk for the temple.
Can you tell us how the robot is made? What are the pieces you've used to create it?
The moving arm is made out of an old motor from the windscreen wiper of a car. The clothes are from the robes of a student monk. I'd like to reduce the amount of rubbish in the world and create a better environment. Even the tape recorder is a recycled one.
Reverend, in Britain it would be really unusual to find a robot in a church. Is it something that's somehow more likely in Japan?
全ての目に見えるものはこれは方便でございます。
According to Buddhism,
真実というものは
everything you can see is
一切この
artificial.
目で見えない
It's only the surface.
仏様の心という
You
のを
can't see the
それ
truth.
を表現するのが
You can't see the mind of the Buddha.
だんだんとこの、無常なもので
Therefore, everything is transient.
この
Nothing will last
だ
forever.
から新しい時代が来れば新しいものができてこれは当然のことで
So Buddhists welcome new eras
伝統
and
的な
new
ものを
materials.
この思いながら新しいものを作っていくとこれが仏教の教えです。
If you wind back the clock of a typical Japanese life, back from the robotic comforts of old age to the happy enthusiasms of youth, you arrive at a childhood with very different priorities from one of ours. This is a little open day in a little school near Nagoya. As with all open days everywhere, the parents muck in and the kids chase about. But whereas at one of our schools, most of the intergenerational energy goes into baking fudge and collecting prizes for the tombola, in this little school near Nagoya, they've got the kids battling to build the best robot. And instead of a lecture from the local counsellor on the importance of the 11 plus, they've invited a special visitor to enthuse the kids about their future.
お年寄りの人たちがとか身体障害者の人たちがなんか辛い思いをしてる時になんか助けてくれるようなロボットとかそういうロボットがいたらいいと思います。
もういるから今度はロボットのがいいかな。いろいろ動いたりね喋ったりする。
なんかお料理やってる時に電話かかってきちゃったりとかしたら途中をやってくれたらいいなと思います。
So what's your name then? Maria. It's a beautiful name. I do like this robot. With her interesting 17th century fashion sense, she certainly stands out from the crowd. But virtual technology in Japan has moved far ahead of this. It's moved to the stage where the divide between the natural and the artificial has almost disappeared. This isn't my perfect woman. She hasn't got any legs, and she's a little small for me. But I do know a man who can make the perfect woman for me. You get geeks in every country, but only in Japan do you get the Otaku, the Japanese hermit geek, a being so in tune with the electronic pulses of cyberspace that they've co-joined mystically with their own computers. Well, let's get down to our business here then and create our perfect woman. So the first stage, as I gather, is to create the body, is that right?
Yeah.
Well, is there a choice that I can make? Or thin and fat, tall, short? Well, I'm just quite medium to begin with. Maybe we can make some adjustments after that, sort of medium body, really. Nice, you know, I mean, for me, a little bit wider hips, maybe. Is it possible to see her from the side at all? It's good, nice profile. Oh, she's spinning around, look at that. My woman. Quite thin. Yeah. So that's her final body. So should we do the head now?
Yeah.
It's got a nice classic profile. That's a very Japanese nose, just a little bit longer. Oh, there it goes. Oh. That's a bit too long. No, shorter. So can we do the final face and then put the head and the body together? And you can do any hairstyle you want, cut it short, long. Can we try her blonde, see what that looks like?
Yeah.
Okay. But you can even see the roots. Look, you've done the root, that's clever. No, maybe we go back. I think maybe the brunette looks slightly more natural. Sejuro-san, would you call yourself an otaku?
Maybe.
So tell us what that means. What is an otaku in your terms?
As the word suggests, it's someone who stays at home all the time and doesn't go out and just sits at the computer all day long. Occasionally, I go out for meetings, but I spend most of my time in this office, and I don't play any sports.
Is that exactly? Are we finished now? Is this her? That's fantastic. Is that a bikini? She's classically beautiful. It's wonderful. What sort of relationship do you have with your creations? Do you fall in love with every woman you create?
I don't fall in love with the girls. My feeling is that they are my daughters.
I've got my Eve. She doesn't look anything like I expected her to. But creating humans from scratch is a tricky business, as God found out when he had the first ever go at creating paradise. It's autumn. The nights are closing in. The leaves have turned brown. Winter is in the air. This ought to mean that lounging around on the beach and riding 10-footers into the sunset was entirely out of the question. But at the Miyazaki Surfer's Paradise, every day of the year is a sizzling summer's day in Hawaii. It took God a week to create Eden. Japanese builders spent 3 years coming up with this place. The beach was imported from China and is made of granulated marble. The waves are created by a giant mechanized ripple machine that sends reliable 10-footers crashing onto the shore every 10 seconds.
If you come from a famously hard-working society that takes very short holidays, that has neither the time nor the temperament to take risks with the weather, then why bother traveling thousands of miles at huge expense to get to something that can be created in handy miniature on your own doorstep?
I know people who'd be so snooty about this place. Maybe you too are unimpressed. You might be thinking, this isn't as good as the real Hawaii. It's tacky, it's virtual, it'll never catch on. Just remember, people said the same thing about the virtual 15-piece rhythm section, complete with backing vocalists. And look what happened to that.
今船出が近づく
I'm nervous, I admit it. I'm going to meet one of the most influential Japanese who's ever lived. A man who's changed the world, and yes, made it a better place. He hasn't taught the world to sing, we could already do that, but we weren't doing enough of it. This man realized that inside every tuneless middle-aged has-been, there's a lead singer dying to get out. So he invented karaoke.
Much more than this, I did it my way.
And there it is, for the first time on British television, the machine that changed the world.
Today's karaoke machines are very complex, state-of-the-art affairs. So when was the first moment that the world heard modern karaoke?
It was about 30 years ago. There's a place in Tokyo called Nihonbashi. And a friend of mine went to Nihonbashi and bought all the components. He cut them up with a saw and painted them. It's all handmade.
そして色を塗ってそして作ったんです。
Wherever you go these days, there's a karaoke bar somewhere in the area. Why do you think it's had such an international impact?
やはりね、みんな歌いたいんですよ。歌いたいんだけども、
Everyone really wants to sing,
だから
but they are
誰か
too
が歌ったら
shy.
次歌う。
However,
だから
if someone else starts singing, then they'll start singing too.
そういうバカにされたとかそういうことはないですね。もう
And once they get hold of the microphone, you can never get it back.
Karaoke means empty orchestra. This isn't a toy, a mere diversion. It's a virtual exploration of another world. I'm not Frank Sinatra. This isn't the Albert Hall. But just for a moment, I don't know that.
I took the blows and did it my way.
Why is it that in the presence of this much wondrous nocturnal technology, whose sole purpose, and what a sensible one it is to make me happy, I find myself feeling, well, guilty instead? I'm suffering from a residual medieval misery, which the Japanese simply don't seem to have.
Thank you very much.
In Britain, amusement arcades are places I keep out of. Life's too short to spend any of it in the company of maladjusted, flick-knife-wielding teenagers who've come here to shoot and maim their way to victory. In Britain, amusement arcades are sad places in which sad people come specially to avoid other sad people. But look at this place.
Lovers out for the day, families on an outing, smiles, guffaws. This is fun. I've seen the future of amusement arcades, and it's okay, it's healthy, it's bright.
In Britain, I'm sure everyone enjoys playgrounds too. But here, they become more family-orientated. And of course, we've changed them by electrifying them.
エレクトリックなものにアダプテーションされたというそういうイメージじゃないかと思うんです。
A social revolution is surging through Japan. The young, and particularly young women, are rebelling against the old ways. They seek a louder voice, a bigger say in their own lives. But isn't it interesting how in challenging tradition, the teenage rebel blondes of the new Japan look just as different from their natural selves as their samurai-pleasing geisha predecessors.
The first time I came to Japan, you'd see women walking a few feet behind men as a mark of deference. Today, you still see women walking behind men, not as a mark of deference, but because they can't walk any faster on the outrageously tall platform footwear that is all the rage here.
スタイルよく見える、足長く見えたりとかして、これですごい長いベルボとかズボン履いちゃうともう本当にすごい足長く見えちゃうから痛くないけどとりあえず歩きにくいはある歩きにくいのぎこちないなんだろう細く見える痩せて見えるかもしれないそう足だけ長くなる
90% of what you see in a rebellious Ganguro girl comes from a bottle. They are their own greatest creations. The unlikely new blondes do what they do to shock their mums and get noticed in the streets. But they do it with an exquisite artificial precision that is unmistakably and traditionally Japanese.
Disco. 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 Disco.
Some girls have got suntans and they wear interesting makeup, but they just want to enjoy themselves and be happier. Some people say it's just a passing fad, but I think it's more than that.
Do you think that Japanese people have a different relationship to artificial things than Western people? Because the Kogaru look is very artificial. It's an artificial beauty.
A lot of Japanese have childlike looks, and even when they are 25 or 30, they look like young girls, very childlike. So they wear unusual makeup to make themselves look more adult.
And the glue that binds their rebellion together isn't a glue at all. It's a purse-sized electronic wonder upon which they are totally reliant.
Even if they don't actually use them for having conversations, by having a mobile phone, they're showing that they have a friend who will communicate with them and that they can communicate with. It gives them a feeling of security. It's almost a defense against the loneliness, a healing product.
宗教的なそのお守りみたいなものとして持っていて安心するものなんですね。
いいですか？もしもし。ちょっとさ、また後でかけていい？はいはい、バイバイ。いや、あつみさんは7万。月に
The bills may be gigantic, but the phones themselves are tiny. In the electronic bazaars of the modern East, there's a precious trade in smallness.
Yeah, this is a mobile battery charger.
It's a battery charger?
Battery charger.
When you go like that with your hands,
yes,
you're charging the battery with your manually? That's
yes,
amazing.
Manually, yes.
Right.
You do like this way and you can talk forever.
And it's good exercise.
Yeah,
it's
good.
Quite...
Even for health.
Yeah, for health. Yeah.
だってあの男が出ている間は映像の中に影はなかったんですもん。絶対そうです。DVD カメラご覧のように。
So this is a mobile phone, right?
Yes, this is a mobile phone.
And it takes pictures, is that right?
Yes, that's right. This is the camera, little camera.
Why would you take photographs with a mobile phone?
Well, it's like convenience. I mean, you don't have to carry around the camera or something like that. You can take a picture with the mobile phone.
Right. And that's the camera here. So small. It's like fits in your hand so beautifully.
Right. Should I take you?
Please.
Okay. Smile.
And that's me.
Yeah,
oh.
that's you.
Good. I look very happy. I'm not smiling enough.
The US likes anything big, but Japanese like anything tiny. We have a proverb saying, God exists in a tiny item. Very, very tiny, but a grain of rice, for instance. There is an essence of a spirit.
There's a little tree in my yard. It was a very, very hot summer. A great big green caterpillar was eating the leaves of the tree.
So this is the oldest bonsai in Japan, 1,000 years old. To put its age in perspective, in Britain, Westminster Abbey hadn't been built, 1066 hadn't happened, 1,000 years ago.
The white parts are the center of the tree, and they are dead. These parts have hardened like fossils, but the rest of the tree will live for another few hundred years.
What is the overall concept of bonsai? What is the idea behind the art form?
A small tree will evoke nature in a very concentrated way. It's not just a pretty tree. If you look after the tree, it will evoke the atmosphere of somewhere else. So you can feel the wind or the clouds, another kind of nature. That is what bonsai should be.
感じに作るのが盆栽ですね。やっぱりこの種類によってね、海の近くにある樹木もある、あるいは山の上の方の樹木もある。
Different trees come from different areas. Some originally grew near the sea, or near the rivers, or near the mountains. So, trees from different natural environments naturally create different atmospheres.
So really a bonsai is a prompt, if you like, for the imagination. It takes you away from where you are towards this distant nature that you remember.
When people see a very old bonsai tree, it makes them feel as if they've made a little trip to a place they could never actually visit. The bonsai encourages this kind of response in those who grow them or watch them.
So, bonsai isn't just about smallness, it's about creating a virtual reality. And that really is a traditional Japanese speciality. Why should the world take up more space than it needs to?
Oh no! Oh, this is amazing. I'm watching a movie here on these new Olympus special glasses. Imagine you're going home from work on the train, you put these on, you can watch a film, you can watch a video of some kind, and no one will ever know what you're watching. Amazing. The same company is apparently working on like a special pair of clear glasses that have cameras in them and earphones that record every conversation you ever have. So for example, if you walk into a party and you meet somebody and you can't remember their name, but you've met them before, the information will be recorded in your glasses, and the glasses, which are called the whispering glasses, will whisper to you the name of the person you can't remember. Now that is very clever.
Because of our constitutional constraints, we are not permitted to have any military industry. Even military itself is disarmed under constitution. I think that is a lie. But anyhow, our technology should be mobilized for consumer goods production only, not for military.
There you have it. In Britain, our super brainy technical types have been busily inventing useful new weapons of mass destruction. In Japan, they've come up with this. Mario's the most successful character in children's entertainment ever. He's more successful than Mickey Mouse, than Popeye, than any of them. Can you tell us what kind of origins he has? How did you come upon this character?
I was brought up in the countryside, surrounded by nature. Everyone should have a chance to experience some kind of nature. I think it's nice if you can experience at home what isn't possible in real life. So I created a virtual world filled with my own experiences, and people can enjoy in the game what's impossible in real life. I think it's important to experience joy physically from head to toe.
Is it true that when Mario discovers these fabulous little hidden kingdoms, these secret corners of the world that he runs around in so energetically, that what we're trying to recreate or perhaps touch again is some of the feeling that you had as a child of exploring a world that was fresh and new to you?
I always wanted to make what we call hakoniwa, a miniature garden in a box. And I wanted to play games in that hakoniwa. In the case of Super Mario, basically, I created a special hakoniwa, my own miniature world. And all my physical experiences can go into it.
Mario has an unlikely daytime profession for a superhero. He's a plumber. But the makeup of the Japanese house is changing so rapidly that even Mario's fabulous plumbing know-how would prove pretty useless in here. What, for instance, would our mustachioed super plumber make of one of these? You know how you go into the toilet to find some peace, solve the crossword, read some Rushdie? Well, the bad news about the Japanese house of the future is that all this will constitute a waste of time. Time that could be spent much more efficiently having a major medical checkup. So that's height, 184. Whenever your seat touches the seat, one of these will immediately examine your stools and check that your kidneys are working properly. If you're drinking too much, the information will be relayed to your doctor, who won't tell you to cut down the booze. That's the old way of doing things. Oh no! This doctor will immediately contact your fridge and tell it what not to stock. The fridge phones the supermarket and orders up what the doctor recommends. This gets delivered to your home and then cooked to the doctor's recipe by the computer-operated super microwave. Another thing the smart toilet does is weigh you every time you sit down. Then it instantly measures changes in your body fat with these special fat-probing pads. The toilet then tells you to go on a diet. And the fridge contacts the supermarket and orders a month's supply of low-calorie fish flakes. There are hundreds of ways of cooking fish flakes, and your computerized super microwave will know all of them. Lovely. Dr. Terada, Mitsubishi is a very well-known company, very well-known in Britain, very well-known in the world, for all kinds of industries. But it's a surprise to us to find out that you're now also making robot fish.
潜水調査船のですね、アクチュエーター。
It came out of our research into a new kind of propulsion system for submarines.
というのは、潜水艇の
Because even today, it's quite difficult to keep an underwater vehicle stable when it's not moving.
潜水艇を安定に維持することは今もなお難しいと言われております。そのためのアクチュエーターとして使えるのではなかろうかと考えました。この特徴を
I wondered what's the best way was for people to understand this system.
ご理解していただくというためにですね。
And so to show it more clearly, I had the idea of robot fish.
表現するために一つの魚ロボットということで
I chose the sea bream because it's a fish that's very well known to Japanese people. Then we made a celia canth.
種類の魚タイを取り上げて 皆様にご覧いただいて、そのリアリティの高さを評価していただこうと考えました。
The coelacanth opens up a whole world of use, new uses for your robot fish, because I understand there are already some plans afoot to create a virtual aquarium of all kinds of extinct fish, extinct animals.
実は私どもはその実際に見ることのできない魚を作ることによって、
We are planning to build an aquarium that contains various extinct fish.
できるのではないかと考えて、
Fish you can't see anymore.
ご提案いたしております。その中には、
And I also hope we can create some creatures from the Cambrian period.
の生物などがですね、実際に実現できたらいいなと考えております。
One day there'll be virtual aquariums filled with these. No fish need ever be extinct or lonely again. My brain knows this isn't a real coelacanth, but my senses are hesitating. The robot fish feels spookily convincing. It swims, it leaps, it teaches submarines how to dive. The one thing you can't do with it is eat it. The curious Japanese belief that artificial things can have a life has another side to it, a yang to its yin, which is that live things can also achieve an artificial beauty.
Tesco's have recently reported that they sell more sushi than cheese sandwiches in their stores these days. What a turn-up for the books that is. The British preferring raw fish to sad slices of cheddar. But it had to happen. It makes so much sense. This is food that brings a new set of culinary ideals to the table. It's designed to be compact, practical, colour-coded. It does away with the need for knives, forks, tureens, all the cumbersome accoutrement of traditional British eating. With this, you save space and live to be 90. This is food that proves that to be full of natural goodness, you don't have to look natural at all. From here to the 3-course sachet filled with powdered goodness is a small step. Pot noodles, done well, are a great Japanese invention too. Everything is somebody's handiwork, and if our world is God's handiwork, then why shouldn't the bits of it that we make do exactly what we need them to?
The Japanese have recently taken up football. They're not much good at it yet, but they will be. A robot's already helping them practice penalties for the next World Cup. By the year 2050, the prediction here is that teams of robots will be taking on teams of humans in the Robo World Cup. Now, you wouldn't want to bet against skilled teams of Japanese robots winning that, would you? He's at a very early stage still, but when you finished your research with Pino, what will this robot do? What kind of activities will it do?
Okay. This is now we have some about the humanoid project. One of this is the RoboCup project, and we having starting the RoboCup humanoid leagues. The football league. This is for the research about biped research robot, especially for the RoboCup. And next year we're having the RoboCup football exhibition.
So the RoboCup, which is this tournament, football tournament for robots.
Yeah.
in next year, he's going to play football in the
Yes,
World Cup,
yeah,
is he?
Yes.
Oh. Is he good? Is he going to be a good footballer?
I hope so, yes.
Oh. But I read that by the year 2050,
Yes.
teams of robots
Yeah, it's 11 robots.
will be playing
yeah.
teams of humans.
Yeah.
Is that likely?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, 2050, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is our problem with the artificial? Our own landscape is almost entirely man-made. God didn't invent fields and hedges and country lanes, or thatched cottages, water features, and the perfect lawn. We did all that. Yet foolishly, we've convinced ourselves that there's something natural about Surrey and something unnatural about the Miyazaki surfer's paradise, when one is merely a bigger, colder version of the other. If you welcome the artificial as enthusiastically as the Japanese have done, then you welcome some wacky things. Girls with ruined postures and nuclear hairdos wobble uncomfortably down your street. Sad otaku types who never leave the room they smoke in fiddle endlessly with their computers. People with no voices imagine they can sing. All this is perhaps regrettable. But you also get old people who aren't allowed to be lonely, visiting temples that aren't allowed to stay silent. Lovers out for a day's shared button pushing. Gadgets that do things you didn't even know were useful till you did them. Adventure, fun, bright lights. There's nothing terrible about any of this. The only thing we should fear is our own irrational fear of new things. Britain and Japan have an edgy relationship. Each has some reason to be suspicious of the other. But I've been here a lot of times now, and I've come to realise that they're unexpectedly similar places. Tenacious island kingdoms floating off the mainland, used to doing things their way. Inventive, cussed, and a touch mad. The biggest difference between us is in our attitude to the future. In Britain, we're wary of it. In Japan, they welcome it. In fact, they're enjoying it already.
I've got a machine. I just put them in.
Okay. Just recording the sounds.